Welcome, everybody, to episode 202 of The China Show.
Yes, we're having a special edition today because it is in honor of Women's Day.
Yep.
We decided to not miss dinner time and made some dinner plans with the wives, so we'll be treating them later.
Yeah.
So pardon the early show, but if you didn't know that we were having it early, then you can watch it later. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, we apologize for the last minute change in schedule, but the way things worked out, this is just the best way for us to do it. But we have a jam-packed show for you today.
Of course.
We're going to get right into it. Also, we will be answering super chats throughout the show today, simply because we have a deadline, we have to leave, so we're probably not going to have time for a lengthy Q&A today.
Yeah, so we'll just do the questions in between segments.
Okay. Anyway, let's get right into it. Now, let's saunter right into it with what's new, where we talk about everything that's new, specifically with regards to China. And something that really took off is this incident that happened in Hong Kong. Okay, so this happened at a place called Repulse Bay.
It's repulsive.
Yeah, I know, it certainly is.
Why did they name it that?
I think they repulsed some invaders or something, maybe.
Oh, okay.
It's a very nice place. Yeah. It's a very nice beach. It's one of the better beaches in Hong Kong, right? And some mainland uncles, evil uncles. Well, let's just see what they got up to here. Okay, I'll play it for you.
香港浅水湾海滩啊，这个大爷想找这个老外一起拍照啊，可以看得出这个大爷是趁机卡老外的油，老外有点不情愿。我们看下一个，又来一个，旁边又来了一个大爷，又想趁机卡这个老外油啊，可以看得出老外也是。
So, let's go back to that quickly. For those of you,
this is live, by the way. Sid Vicious, who was asking.
Yeah, it's
live. Check.
It's live. Yeah. So as you can see here, she's sitting there on the beach. A girl by herself in a bikini, and these evil uncles come up to take a photo with her.
Yeah.
And she clearly doesn't want them touching her. I mean, she's sitting there in a bikini. I think it's kind of normal to not go and touch a girl sitting in a bikini on the beach.
Probably don't.
Don't do that, right? No. But they don't care. Like, as you can see, she tries to, actually physically remove the guy's hand. But he fights and puts his hand back. He's like, no, I will take that photo. I will touch you.
这个老外一起拍照啊。 可以看得出这个
She's obviously not very enthused by this all, right?
大爷是趁机卡老外的油，老外有点不情愿。
And then
我们看下一个，又来一个。
See, she's waves the other. She can see another guy's coming, and she's like, "No, don't do it."
旁边又来了一个大爷，
But he comes and puts his hand on her. She pushes him away, but he comes and grabs onto her anyway.
看得出老外也是。
Now, I'm going to show in the background here, this is very, very normal in China.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're a foreigner, people want to take photos with you. Yeah. It's super normal. You're like a circus attraction.
Yeah.
I mean, how else could you explain?
No, I'm just thinking most of the time it's fine.
Yeah,
it's innocent.
I'm always very polite, and I understand that they've never seen a foreigner before. It's an event for a lot of people, so I'm always obliged. You know, like for instance, here I was in Shanghai, and this family that was visiting wanted to take a photo with me. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, it's, I don't mind.
No,
I'll oblige.
We always say yes.
Yeah, exactly. But everyone has their breaking point, right? So
this.
I got to just explain what happened here, right? I had just gotten off a train. I'd had a long journey, right, to go to Shaoguan, which is in Guangdong, right? Just got off the train. I'm there with my wife. We've just gone to sit down to have dinner. And, you just want to sit down. I just wanted to have a beer and have something to eat.
As you do.
And this drunk guy saw that there's a foreigner, and he did this whole thing where he comes and basically slethers all over me. He's got his arms around me. Anyway, I'll just show you the clip, all right? So you can see, I'm just like, okay, let's get this over with, because this happens multiple times a day when you go into the smaller, second, third tier cities in China. Yeah. Would you agree? Like, people always want to take a photo of you because you're like a circus animal, right?
Yes.
You're
Shout out to Lila Farley in the chat, by the way. I hope you get better.
He's feeling sick?
No, he's trying to sweat out his hangover.
Oh, yes. You and me both, brother. Anyway, so this guy comes and does his whole like, let's take a photo together. You can see I'm obliging him. I'm like, can this just finish? Basically, you know, I want to have my dinner now, and then see what happens next.
我是广东青雅南的爬爬。
我知道。
我從嘢啊！我爬都行喎，佢爬住。什麼？爬搞到我都能爬，我最中意閉路嘅。
得唔得？得唔得？誒，唔嘴啦，唔嘴啦。喂，佢第一晚嚟，你唔好嚇親佢啊！以後佢對韶關，佢以後對韶關印象差唔嚟啦。
Yeah, so I mean, the guy tried to kiss me, which is a bit weird. This sweaty drunk man has his armpit all over me anyway, and then he wants to try and kiss me.
Not ideal.
No, it's not ideal, and I just had to just get out of that situation. So I'd had enough. I think everybody has their breaking point.
Sure.
But before I started filming this, don't forget this had been going on for at least 10 or 15 minutes.
Sure.
Of them bugging me and coming and taking photos. Then they go back, and then they come back and try to take more photos. So I'm just putting these two and two together. It's just like that woman on the beach. You're an attraction. They want to take a photo with you. You're some kind of circus animal. And there is just this massive lack of the idea of personal space in China.
Sure.
You'd agree.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Do you have any stories about your photos being taken like this?
I mean, pretty much everywhere. Anywhere you go, you're going to be the guy. But, I got so tired in the beginning of saying, like, where I was from, what I'm doing there, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So eventually I just would come up with ridiculous stories. And I think I've said this before. One time I told people that I'm an astronaut and I came from Thailand.
Okay.
And I just made it up on the spot and they completely believed me.
Yeah.
It made it more entertaining. But at the same time, like, I'm happy to oblige because, like, when else are you going to see somebody from a different country in China?
Yeah.
It's very rare. Right?
Yeah, it is rare.
So, I mean, most of the time it's totally fine, for sure.
Yeah, I'd say most of the time it's a slight inconvenience,
Yeah.
but always happy to oblige. But there are certain times where you just don't want to have to deal with this.
Lila Farley says, Winston and I are so different. I'd sit there and black out with him and end up with my phone being stolen and wallet soaked with urine.
Yeah, maybe on a different day it
Yeah,
would have been
yeah.
like that. But you know what it's like when you just finished a long
Yeah,
train
yeah.
journey and you just want to have dinner and go to the hotel.
Sure. That makes sense.
Anyway, so speaking of, lack of personal space and so on, there's a Dutch reporter who went to go cover a small protest. And basically, it's one of those loan companies that owes people money. Yeah. This happens all over China.
Sure.
And a lot of people have taken out loans. They can't pay them back, or they've put money into these shadow banks and stuff, but they can't take the money out because everyone's stealing the money and running and stuff. Okay, it happens little pockets here and there. So let's see what happens when he goes to try and film the protesters to ask them what's going on. Yeah, so they're saying Sichuan Trust, geef ons geld terug, which just means give us our money back.
Yeah.
In Dutch, similar to Afrikaans. So Sichuan Trust, give us our money back. There's a little group of people that are protesting because, the Sichuan Trust stole their money. Yeah. This happens all the time, right? So he just wants to go and film them. He's, so he's legally allowed to be there. He's a journalist and all that.
不好意思，哎，干嘛了呀？嘿，
Like, what are you doing?
嘿，
请你过来，
嘿，干嘛？
请你过来。是，请你过来。
嘿，
过来，
去哪位？
过来。
哎，
王同志。
哎，你去哪位？
Okay, so what happened here is you had plainclothes police and actual police basically manhandle him, push him to the ground, take his microphone, take his bag, take his gear, and, force him away.
This is what happens.
Yeah. This is why you don't hear bad news coming out of China, because you're not allowed to film it, you're not allowed to spread it, you're not allowed to tell anyone about it. That's why everyone thinks China is some kind of a utopia.
Yeah.
And America just is full of drug addicts because they just show that.
That's all you see.
They show Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia, and then they'll be like, look at China. There's nothing on the streets here. That's because you can't film it. Anyway, so they shoved them in the back of a car, and they confiscated their phones. They confiscated their camera and all that kind of stuff, too.
Ja, je merkt het, de spanning is enorm. Worden alle kanten opgeduwd.
It's like they're pushing us around. Oh, look at what they did. Can you explain what's going on here?
So this is what happened during the Shanghai protests when people started rebelling against the government. What they would do is the police learned and bragged about, weirdly enough, putting up a black sheet
Yeah.
to block protesters instead of doing anything against violent protests or something like this. They would have a demo where a guy would hold up a white piece of paper and then they'd block it off.
Yeah.
With four of these curtains, and then a policeman would come in and disappear the guy. It's like a magic trick. So they're doing that with umbrellas here.
Yeah. So the whole thing is just block it, like nothing to see here.
It's physical censorship.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like, that bridge that collapsed and then they put all those barriers up so you couldn't see it.
Yes.
So they, put all these umbrellas up so nobody could see what was going on with these reporters. Yeah, so the woman's saying, oh, the foreigner's been taken away. They're like, don't film. Just give me that phone or whatever.
Ja, het is nu een paar uur geleden, sinds we weer vrij zijn gekomen.
Okay, so he's like, okay, it's been a few hours and we're back where this incident happened. Sorry if I'm getting a bit of the translation wrong. I don't speak Dutch, I speak Afrikaans. It's quite kind of similar.
Naar de grond gewerkt hier op deze plek.
He's like, right here on the ground is where it happened.
Geleden, 2 uur vastgezeten, telefoons afge...
And 2 hours, they were detained for 2 hours. Their telephones were taken away and also the camera, ook die camera. Werd ingenomen. So yeah, they took the camera as well.
Ook de camera werd ingenomen. Het ligt extreem gevoelig hier.
You can see it's still very serious. Look at, they're still trying to block him.
Zie je nu ook weer, het is inpakken en wegwezen. Ja, en de demonstranten, die zijn al lang weer naar huis gestuurd door de politie.
And he says you can see the protesters have already been forced to go home by the police.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what he has to say.
Oké, laat maar gaan.
It's like, okay, let's go. So, yeah, guys, that's really just in a nutshell what happens when there's bad news in China.
It's kind of like our harassment segment.
Yeah, in a way. It's all part of that. Anyway, before we continue, we have a word from today's sponsor, if you don't mind checking it out. What do you have to say about this, Seamilk?
You ever feel like this?
Like that clown?
Is that a clown?
Well, living statue. Is that what it is?
You ever feel like a living statue smoking a rolled up cigarette?
I don't really like living statues very much. They make me feel awkward.
Well,
I feel bad for them because they stand like in a pose.
You know what would make them and you feel better?
What?
Factor meals.
That and also my pores being able to breathe.
Ah, yes.
Remember Goldfinger?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I see those guys.
That's a good point.
Anyway, yes.
Eating better is easy with Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals. Every fresh, never frozen meal is chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to go in just 2 minutes. In fact, we loved every meal we tried.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's no lie.
Factor's absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every week, including Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, and Keto. And also, there's more than 60 add-ons to help you stay fueled up and feeling good all day long. So what are you waiting for? Get started today and get after your goals. And don't forget, it only takes 2 minutes to get them ready.
Never frozen.
It's not frozen food here.
Yeah.
This is like chef-prepared stuff, and it tastes like chef-prepared stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Pancakes, smoothies. There's all kinds of breakfast options, right?
Yep.
Discover a wide variety of easy options for the entire day, like breakfast, midday bites, and more. There's no prep, no mess meals. And Factor meals are ready to heat and eat, and there's no prepping, cooking, or cleanup needed because you can just toss away the trash when you're done. Yep. Super flexible for your schedule. Again, we liked everything we tried. We highly, highly recommend that you go check it out. Don't forget that Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved.
Yes.
So it's fantastic.
And it is great. And it's nice to just have that option, when you're hungry and you've come home from work and you want to eat something, you're like, oh, I can choose from these really nice meals.
Yeah, for sure.
Try something different every day.
Head to factormeals.com/ADV50 and use the code ADV50 to get 50% off. That's code ADV50 at factormeals.com/ADV50 to get 50% off.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that we've got an American on the team because, these ads wouldn't sound the same.
Appreciate that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Slopaganda time, guys, and I've got a funny one for you today. So, next week is going to be our 2 sessions extravaganza. Yeah. We have got so much BS propaganda and funny nonsense. We got a sessions, and next week we're going to celebrate the 2 sessions, which is China's big hoo-ha where a bunch of annoying middle-aged and old men sit in a room and pretend as if the people have a choice, to choose what goes on in the country, but they just basically tell everyone, this is what we're going to do. Anyway, leading up to this 2 sessions, we've seen a lot of propaganda.
That's right.
And in this one in particular really tickled my fancy, and I'll tell you why. Let's take a look. This guy, we all remember this guy, right? From Potside Chats.
If you don't, watch guy.
Yeah, watch guy, as we call him. So this is China Daily, which of course is a big news outlet of state media. And so China Daily tweeted this out. They said, before the 2024 hashtag 2 sessions in Beijing, China Daily reporters hit the streets to chat with international friends about their experiences in China. From savoring the fiery delights of Sichuan and Hunan cuisine to blah, 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 bunch of nonsense. So you get the idea, right?
Yep.
Our friend Nathan here, Watchman, is going to go out on the streets and he's going to, in Beijing, and ask some random foreigners, about the 2 sessions type thing or about their life in
Fascinating.
Beijing. I know, it's lovely.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Yes.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what he's going to do.
Last year, we took to the streets and asked international citizens of Beijing their thoughts on...
Can I just... A pet peeve of mine when it comes to Chinese news.
Yeah.
They don't know how to use wireless lavalier microphones.
I know, isn't it weird?
See how they hold... For those of you who don't know, lavalier microphone is that thing you attach to the lapel on your shirt or whatever.
Yes.
And then you put that transmitter in your back pocket. But rather than get an actual microphone that, like a proper directional microphone that you would, like a news presenter would point, they just wrap the cord around the transmitter and use it like
weird.
that. It's so annoying, and they all do it, and they all use that same Sony wireless mic.
It's so weird.
Isn't it weird?
And it's like a dog whistle for state media.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It is.
It's like when you see that wrapped up mic, you're like, propaganda.
Yeah. This is like it's the wrong tool for the wrong job. You know what I mean? It just annoys me. Anyway, that aside, let's see what's going on with these wonderfully interesting individuals.
I just want to shout out to Jim Flag for the memberships. Also Harry Tick. And Boycott China, thank you very much. Also Martin Santiago. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat.
Oh, you do you?
Who said, not a fan of the CCP, but somehow just realized that Genshin Impact was a Chinese game. $20,000 later.
Oh, ouch.
I hope you guys have covered any topics. We've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Gabriel Keen, your early show caught me when I was just at work. Chime in with my weekly Baijiu contribution. Can I get a Ferris wheel ride?
I'll give you that, and then we're going to move on.
Yes, I just wanted to clear some of those.
I appreciate it. Okay, let's see what these wonderfully interesting individuals, foreign friends on the streets of Beijing have to say.
life in China, domestic development and international relations. Because we're coming up to the 2 sessions, we thought we'd go back to the streets and ask people their thoughts and prospects for 2024.
I'm Rachel, and I'm from the United States. I think the most important thing for me being an American living in China is the importance of people-to-people relationships is now more important than ever. I think that there's a lot that goes on overhead that a lot of people may not know about. People have biases and assumptions and judgments, and I think...
Okay, I just want to set this up for everyone to know. So, Nathan, he's going out to the streets to go and interview, some random foreigners that live there.
Sure, as you do.
What if I were to tell you that they just run out of foreigners?
I have a caveat. I think maybe it's less about that and more about they need to make sure that foreigner says what they want them to say.
Yeah. What if I told you this was set up?
Oh,
Would you believe me?
Oh, wow.
Would you believe me?
Are you kidding me?
Okay. All right. Because a very quick search of who this Rachel
the best way to
lady
solve
is.
some of these problems is to meet people, go out and talk to people.
Go out and talk to people, show some government crap meeting. Boring. Dude.
They never show
this
real
is such
interactions.
bad
Like we did in
propaganda.
our documentaries. China didn't like that we talked to normal people about normal things. They only want to show this.
Do you think anyone's interested in this crap?
Absolutely not.
No
but
one.
But they don't do it for that. They do it because they want to stroke themselves on the back.
It's true. Okay, so
We
we'll
need
let her
better
finish her
just
blab.
people-to-people communications, because that's going to be the most powerful way to change your mind about something or
Just
to
a
meet
sec.
somebody who
Yeah.
I'm hearing something here.
What's that?
I don't know. I just hear something.
What are you hearing?
It's a whole lot of hong.
Oh, yeah. You mean just...
That's what I hear.
Absolutely. Anyway, let's let her finish her
Yeah,
saying.
I'm
From a
sorry.
different background than you. I know my idea about China has changed so much because I've been living here and getting to approach different people on the street, meeting people, making friends with Chinese friends. It's been the best way to, in my mind, create this bridge across cultures because there can be a gap sometimes.
Okay, so here she is talking about how like people have biases, from overseas and stuff when it comes to China, typical thing.
So watch guy Nathan interviewed her.
Yeah, I'm just asking,
candidly
do
on the street.
you think perhaps she might have some biases?
Let's see.
I would think so, considering she's a reporter for CGTN. It gets better.
So wait, they interviewed a random foreigner on the street, and it's a reporter for state media.
Yes.
A reporter
Literally-
interviewed another reporter.
Yes, literally a colleague from a different station. I mean, you can't make this up. It's like, we need to put this propaganda out that we're going to go record people on the street.
Yeah.
Who can we trust will say the right thing? Oh,
Right.
let's just get some other reporters for state media and pretend.
Wow.
Okay, but it gets better because our mate Nate,
Yeah.
Nathan the Watchman, he was probably like asked, hey, you need to go interview some foreigners. Who can you think of? So it's like, well, why don't we get Rachel from CGTN? How about we do this? Because she works for CGTN. You can see that's all her bio. She's a reporter. What if I told you it went further?
Let's see.
What if I told you that Rachel was actually his wife? So it's sorry. It's like, holy shit. It's like, honey, I need to film something for propaganda. Can you just pretend to be a random person on the street?
Wow.
So nothing against you, Nathan, mate. Like, you guys are a cute couple and all that, and I wish you the best of luck with everything you do. But change that stupid watch. That thing looks like shit, dude. Sorry.
We still haven't figured out what it is.
It's some like really horrible wannabe chronograph thing. Anyway, it just shows you how fake Chinese state media is.
It's
doesn't
fake
it?
on like multiple levels.
On every level.
Yeah.
Everything that's supposed to be a candid interview on the street. Not
Right.
only is it another state media reporter, but it's the dude's wife.
Reporter interviews state reporter.
Yes.
Not only is it a reporter, it's my wife.
Yes, exactly. Why don't we ask what my state reporter wife has to say about
That's what they
the
should
two
have just
sessions?
said to be like
Yeah.
a little more honest.
Just be honest,
Yeah.
dude. But I mean, that's sloppy. That's why it's in the sloppaganda segment this week.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so moving on from, Watchman, hey, at least he hasn't done any Xinjiang genocide denial yet, so we'll give him a pass.
It might be a Vostok.
Think it's a Vostok?
It might be. Someone
Okay.
suggested it. Sergio did.
Yeah, it's on a NATO strap.
But you know what's War Boss Grimble wanted to know what our source for that information was.
My source is that I made it the f*** up.
But no, actually, the source is just CGTN itself and, state media. It's so easy
Sure.
to find out.
Yes.
So, it's kind of dumb. They should have given her a pseudonym or something, because if you just searched her name, you could immediately find her on the state media websites and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Keep giving them good ideas. don't we?
Certified slop
Yeah, absolutely. So,
from Dave the Trousers.
yeah. Now, this is another interesting thing, which kind of coincides with how that Dutch reporter was kind of manhandled and his cameras and stuff, gotten rid of. But on March 7th, so a day ago, some netizens photographed thick smoke rising from the Jiangsu Provincial Public Security Department building. Many netizens posted videos and pictures on the internet. However, the videos and pictures were soon cleared, and topics related to the Jiangsu Provincial Public Security Department is on fire were banned.
Are you surprised?
No. So, I mean, again, here we have something happen, and look, this is kind of common.
Yeah.
Maybe you could talk about how these incidents happen.
The cover-ups?
No, I mean the Public Security Bureau incidents.
Oh, so the Public Security Bureau is basically in charge of watching all the citizens, and people get disenchanted with them because that's where you're supposed to kind of bring your complaints and your problems with the city and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
With the government, that kind of stuff. So they, people get disgruntled, whether it's a property problem or it's a loan problem or it's some sort of, factory that has chemicals that are giving everyone cancer in the village problem. So they take it out on the public security bureaus because that's the government office, right?
Yeah, you often get disgruntled people will go and use improvised explosives or set fire to these buildings. And there's been a couple of these in the last week, actually, where, government buildings have caught fire. This is not the only one. I didn't have enough time to put together a list of all the other ones, but just to let you know that you didn't hear about this. But just imagine if because a public security bureau is probably equivalent to, let's say, a major police station, would you say?
Yes.
Kind of like a head police station, if there's such a thing.
For sure.
Now, imagine if, I don't know, the New York NYPD, the biggest precinct police station, went on fire.
Yeah.
I think everybody would know about it.
Yeah, it would be big news.
Right?
Yeah.
So I want to compare apples to apples here, right?
Right.
So if the New York PD precinct, whatever, massive, the big main police station caught fire, it would be international news. Everybody would know it happened. But in China, a public security bureau, the main big one in Jiangsu, it catches fire
Yep.
and it's suppressed.
Yep.
You don't know about it.
Nope.
Chinese people don't know about it. They cannot discuss it when they try to search it.
Nope.
It returns no results. They can't even search the building anymore. It doesn't return results, right? And that's just to show you how this propaganda war works.
Yeah.
And how China can very easily kind of have this narrative that China's got no issues and no problems, that they can force feed not only their own citizens, but the world. And at the same time, any bad news that is in America gets broadcast so widely and so massively that they can use that to show their citizens and the rest of the world, look how bad America is.
It's true.
But look how good China is.
That's true.
Don't fall for it, guys. It's all a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, anyway. So there you can see the search results are not returning anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine you try to search New York police precinct fire and it says like there are 0 results for your search. Like 0.
None. You're not allowed to search this.
No, you can't search it. That's what's happening in China.
Yep.
Okay, so is this going to be under soft power hour, the AI thing? Should we move it on? Should we move
No,
it to
you can
soft?
just keep it going.
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll just hit soft power hour anyway, just for the hell of
Sure.
it. We're going to hit soft power hour now, guys. This is where we talk about how China tries to change your mind through the power of the internet and various other things. And we got to talk about this Google AI issue.
Yes.
All right. So you may have heard by now, but basically there's a Chinese national who I believe is naturalized in America. He was working for Google. And I'll just read this tweet that I got from someone because it summed it up very well. It says, an ex-Google software engineer was charged with stealing AI trade secrets from the company and secretly working with 2 China-based AI startups. The leaker, Linwei Ding, now faces up to 10 years in prison. The story is intense. Number 1, Google found out that its confidential information was getting leaked. 2, on further investigation, Google found out Ding had been uploading hundreds of confidential files to his personal Google Cloud for over 2 years. 2 years he's been stealing stuff from Google.
2 years.
Yeah. Within weeks of the theft starting, prosecutors say Ding was offered CTO, that's Chief Technological Officer, right?
Yeah.
At an early stage AI startup in China. Okay, that's what they always do.
Yeah.
The Chinese government offers huge amounts of money in labs and stuff and like a research facility if you steal IP and bring it back. Okay, and then on top of that, Ding also founded his own China-based startup focused on training large AI models powered by supercomputing chips. This is the technology that he stole.
Yikes.
Was the hardware of how to use, self-training AI stuff. That's what he stole. So he started his own startup. Now, here's what really pisses me off even more. Another employee was scanning Ding's access badge at the Google building in the US to make it look like he was there when he was actually in China.
It's clever.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Not only is he stealing from Google, all this very important top secret AI technology, but he's also getting them to pay him a paycheck while he's in China.
That's true.
Pretending to be in the US. So he's stealing from the company. He's fraudulently gaining his, his wage or salary or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And screwing over the USA and all that all at the same time. It's really annoying. Anyway, the FBI seized Ding's electronic devices and uncovered more than 500 unique files of confidential information stolen from Google.
Wow.
So when you see China's new AI stuff, remember it's all based on theft. Okay? China's AI is based on theft. It's petty.
It's literally set up in the way they do things.
Yeah.
They tell people to go and do that and then reward them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You get 1,000 Talents programs, United Front, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's awful. It's petty, criminal, thief stuff, and that's what the CCP does. Is they steal this information, they steal all the technology behind this AI stuff, and then they incentivize these guys by giving them huge amounts of money and grants and research labs and all that stuff, and then they get to steal their stuff. They get to have their cake and eat it because they can still get their salary from Google.
That's
they can
true.
still be a Google engineer. They can still live in the States. They can still have all this, but then they spend lots of time in China at their own startups and at these government startups, developing and patenting the exact technology that they stole. And then they get to use it and then sell it back to people that undercut whoever actually invented it in the first place, because they don't have any R&D costs involved. It's a horrible situation. And I just wish people would wake the hell up, because how many times does this have to happen?
I feel like this is a common occurrence now, but maybe we're hearing more about it because people are taking it more seriously.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty easy. It's so blurry, the lines, because you don't want it to be some kind of a national discrimination thing. You don't want to say like, oh, you can't hire Chinese nationals. What you need to do, though, is make sure that everybody, doesn't matter where they come from, have the same rigid security settings. Like, you monitor every single piece of data that comes in and out of their workplace.
Yes.
It has to be.
Absolutely.
If they're making trips to China, you got to scrutinize that, especially see how long they're going and staying there. Like, there has to be some kind of new way to approach this, because we've seen military technology, AI technology, everybody's personal details being stolen.
How long until everything's gone?
Yeah, no, they steal everything. It's a bunch of petty little thieves.
Well, they're freaking getting incentivized by the government, being called patriots when they do it.
Yeah, exactly. It pisses me off a lot, especially like taking advantage of Google and still getting a salary while stealing from them. That just makes it even worse for me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But Agagon says, heard there's 150 planned reactors to be built in China. What are your expectations of tofu drag construction? Probably quite high, but maybe not for military stuff. White-tailed deer for me, my bro.
I'll give you a white-tailed deer. Remember, guys, we're answering some super chats during the show because we're not going to have a Q&A.
Yeah.
Because we got to go take our wives out for Women's Day dinner.
Yes.
White-tailed deer.
Charles Womack.
White-tailed deer.
Yes, we do think that. Mark Carl, the more I listen to you, the more I understand China. David Lopan, thank you for the gifts and the gift memberships. Appreciate that. Chaotic Truth Love. That's not a good way to look at things.
Okay.
Dragonilla, Happy Women's Day from NATO, Sweden.
Excellent.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to Sweden
NATO.
for joining NATO. Excellent. Well done.
Dave Lopan says shipping out next week. I won't say for OPSEC. Just lucky to have land duty. Did you see that army trader who sold secrets?
Yes.
CCP PLA. Yes.
That's we were going to include it in the show, but it was a bit last minute. We're going to include it next week.
One.
Next week's going to be an extravaganza. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Shall we continue?
I'll just do a couple more. Munchie says, something is messed up when you think about it. Akira Toriyama preserved more Chinese culture with Dragon Ball than the CCP did during their rule.
It's true.
And rest in peace. To
Yeah. You know, he's the artist who created Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and
original
various other
flavor.
things. Yeah, exactly.
Happy Women's Day from Anthony Saints. And how about a rare soundbite from Kenton Compton?
I'll give you a rare one. Give me a second.
CPPCC. CPPCC.
You're going to see a lot of that one next week.
Yeah, the 2 sessions. Oh, yes. And
It's all about the CPPCC.
We'll have our tradition.
Oh, yeah, we're going to do the rap song.
Yeah.
It's going to be excellent. But we got a lot of new stuff, too.
Yes.
All right, time for us to move beyond the Great Firewall, everyone. This is where we tell you what's happening on the Chinese internet, something that you probably wouldn't be aware of. And it's kind of a stupid one this week.
Well, I mean, it's big.
It's huge. Now, there's a company called Nongfu Spring. Can you explain what they do?
They make water. So in China, you can't drink the water out of the tap. You either have to buy bottled water. You have to boil it at home, but then you still get the heavy metals. Or you get giant jugs from these big companies of spring water, as they call it. Guanzhong shui.
Yeah. Oh, man, we got a story about... Do you want to tell that story?
No, not right now.
No, you don't want to tell the Guanzhong shui?
Another time.
Okay, we got such a good Guanzhong shui story.
We do. Another time.
Another time.
Anyway, these water companies are huge companies, monopolies, really, in China. And Nongfu Springs is one of the most popular and trusted ones. In fact, we drank a lot of Nongfu Springs in China for sure. Mm-hmm. But there's a big controversy about that parent company right now in China.
Yeah, it's and again, I just have to reiterate this to everyone. In China, you cannot drink the water. You can't put one of those like reverse osmosis filters on your faucet and drink it. You can't boil it and drink it. You cannot drink the water that comes out of the tap in China.
You can boil it and drink it, but you get heavy metals.
Yeah, and also if you use the reverse osmosis stuff, doesn't take the heavy metals out.
No.
You can't.
Well, some of them do.
Yeah, but you will still get contaminated. People have to understand that everyone in China has to buy water. There's no choice.
No.
Something that really like blew me away in America is you walk around, there's drinking fountains everywhere, like public drinking fountains at the parks and stuff.
Yeah.
People can actually drink that.
Bubblers.
It's like, but you can drink it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in China, you can't. You can only buy water in a freaking bottle.
Yes.
And it's not nice. And there have been controversies in the past. But this one is a stupid, stupid controversy. So netizens are accusing Nongfu Spring of using Japanese-styled art, things to do with Japan, on their, I think it's like a tea, like a green tea or whatever, different types of tea bottles, right?
Yeah.
So as we all know, the history between China and Japan is pretty, contentious.
Yes.
But obviously, it's that time of year where you've got to be super nationalistic again. So these stupid conspiracy theories are coming out. Now, okay, granted. Using the carp flags on the bottle, that is a Japanese thing. But it looks nice. I mean, like, it's a good aesthetic.
It's whatever.
And those carp flags have got nothing to do with, like, World War II and, Nanjing Massacre or anything like that. And this is something people have to understand. Just because there's a bad history between two countries doesn't mean that you cannot appreciate an ancient culture.
Agreed.
Especially since that stuff comes from before any of this nonsense.
Yes.
You don't hate classical composers like Beethoven and stuff because of Hitler, right? You just don't do that.
What
because
about Starfish Hitler, though?
Yeah, I think we could throw in a Starfish Hitler. Where is Starfish Hitler? There he is. But anyway, the rabid nationalists always have to find a way to hate on Japan. And they always end up shooting themselves in the foot. So let's show you. This is conspiracy, okay? Because they're using, Japanese-style temples and stuff. Because, of course, it's, green tea from Japan or that style or whatever.
Yeah.
And it looks nice. But now this is the dumbest thing ever. They are saying that this one bottle is designed after the Yasukuni Shrine. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Yasukuni Shrine is, it's a shrine in Japan where people go to honor dead war heroes. But some of the dead war heroes that are honored there are war criminals, okay? They're the people that did bad things in Nanjing, did horrible, atrocious things. So the thing is, like, if you're a Chinese person and you're seen even going near that shrine, you'll get cancelled, right?
Yeah.
Every time the Japanese prime minister or something visits that shrine, there's huge uproars and anti-Japan protests in China.
Yeah.
They hate that bloody shrine, okay? Understandable, okay? The thing is, they're trying to say that this bottle, which you see down here, is styled after the Yasukuni Shrine, okay? And let's see. There's a little video here of a guy showing, why. Well, in a minute. Also, okay, before we get into that, they're saying that this guy, can you see this guy here? He's like a little dude with a hat. Okay, they're saying that little dude with a hat looks like a geisha. The hairstyle's the same.
Yeah.
Isn't that stupid? That little dude with the hat looks nothing like a geisha.
Truly dumb.
It's super dumb. Anyway, let's get to this conspiracy theory, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Okay? I'll get past all this. Just showing you that people are going ape about this online. They're really, it's a big issue. And in fact, the stocks of Nongfu Spring really took a dive because nobody wants to buy it anymore. Everyone's boycotting it, which is so dumb. Again, and why are they boycotting it? Look, this guy's going to explain. Because the character over there kind of looks like the temple. And you see that character kind of looks like the gate. Oh, and there's a flower that kind of looks like one of the flowers on the Yasukuni Shrine.
Oh my gosh.
What is it called when people make stuff up just because that's what they expect,
It's the tinfoil hat, kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like you look at the $1 bill and they're like, oh, Illuminati and the eye and the this. And if you fold it into a crane, it's like, look, it means that your money's going to fly away or something. You know what I mean? Just stupid shit. This is the stupidest bloody thing I've ever seen in my life.
This is a stretch.
Yeah, it's a massive stretch to say that this bottle is designed after the Yasukuni Shrine.
Wow.
Especially since it's Chinese characters, and that's how Chinese characters look, right? And they're based after things like gates and things like that, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's pathetic. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this has led to, like I said, widespread nonsense. Like shops are having to take all the Nongfu spring water, not just those teas with the Japanese motifs on it. No, all of the water has to be taken out. Nobody's buying it. They have to replace it with sebon. Is that how you say it?
Sebon.
Sestbun.
Means it's good in French.
I bet you it's not a French thing.
No, it's not. It's Chinese, I believe.
Yeah. That green one. Which was your favorite, by the way, back in the day?
Probably Nongfu. I liked how thick the bottles were.
Okay.
They weren't all crinkly.
Right.
What about you?
Probably Nestle.
Yeah, Nestle was good too.
Nestle water. You know,
That
you
was a
get the
good
jug. Yeah. Anyway, you can see it's really affecting all these mom and pop shops because now they have all this stock they can't sell.
Yeah.
And they have to bring in the competing brands in order to,
Yeah, so
sell
people
water.
in China are also pushing back against the outrage because they're like, we can't make money. What's wrong with you?
It's like,
Don't be dumb.
Yeah, what have you done? And it's based off stupid conspiracy shit anyway.
You're hurting Chinese companies.
It always ends up that way, have you noticed?
Yep.
Every single time there's some kind of anti-Japan thing going on in China, it ends up hurting the Chinese people themselves.
Yes.
Not Japan. Do you think they care?
No.
It's not their water brand or their tea brand that's getting boycotted.
No.
Japan's just sitting there and being like, well, you guys are seeing something that's not there. Have fun.
Yes.
All the Chinese shop owners are suffering and all that for nothing. It's dumb.
It'll blow over, but not without fallout.
Yeah, it's
Guasu.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also had like yahaha,
Wahaha.
Oh yahaha,
Wahaha.
Yeah, wahaha, yeah. Anyway, all that stupid water stuff aside, let's move on to this TikTok ban, shall we?
Yes.
Now, it's kind of crazy, but TikTok is kind of in panic mode right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And they have, this is not a screenshot from my phone, by the way. I just got this from someone else. I don't have TikTok on my phone. I've refused to install it.
100-something million Americans
177 million Americans do. They put out this thing, which is like an automatic splash screen in TikTok to basically go spam call Congress.
Wow.
Isn't this like akin to a DDoS attack or something?
What is this? Oh, wow.
Oh, this is, yeah.
Wow, so good.
There's nothing there. Basically, it popped up with this message to say that Congress is planning a total ban of TikTok. This isn't true, by the way.
This is also a bipartisan bill.
Yeah, it's a bipartisan bill. It was unanimously passed. I mean, it's been decided on. It hasn't been voted on yet.
Yes.
I don't really know how American politics work, but it takes too long to do anything.
It'll get there.
Yeah, eventually. It's just super annoying. They're always like, bill has passed, and you're like, that means something. And then you look it up and like, no, it doesn't mean shit. It just means that like it's going to go to the next stage.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, the fact of the matter is they basically said, speak up now before your government strips 170 million Americans of their constitutional right to their free expression. Get the hell out of here,
Pretty
China.
misleading.
China doesn't even have free speech.
No.
How
Or the
dare
First
they?
Amendment.
How dare they tell you to,
Yeah.
to do something with something they don't have?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
The thing is, like, here's the deal. TikTok is ultimately going to be beholden to China as long as the parent company is ByteDance, which
Correct.
is in China. They have a CCP branch, right?
Yes.
This has been exposed multiple times. Tons of people in leadership have pointed this out. It's gotten to the point where there's really no argument that it's an issue, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's bipartisan. It's why you don't have like one entire party going like, no, that's bad, don't, right?
Yeah.
You have people that are legitimately concerned because the proof has been put in front of them, right?
Yeah.
The reason this is so disingenuous on TikTok's end to get people to do this is that it's not calling for a complete ban.
It's not. It's not a ban. We'll explain that in a minute. But, to me, this is, again, TikTok doing foreign interference. Because
Yes.
look at what they're doing. They send out to 170 million people to call Congress to tell them to vote no. Is that not meddling?
Seems like it, right?
It looks like freaking meddling to me.
Yeah.
And also, think about now the logjam of all those phone calls.
Yeah.
Like Congress, actually needs to deal with real problems.
Yeah.
So what about somebody who's actually trying to get through to get a real problem addressed, but they
Right.
can't because there's millions of people spamming them.
Don't take away my TikTok.
Yeah,
You know.
it's bad. Just this action itself proves, what kind of a company we're dealing with. And it's not just this thing popping up, like notifications are popping up on people's phones like this. TikTok is at risk of being shut down by the US. Call your representative now. And then you click on it, you get that other message.
Yeah.
It's very invasive.
Yeah.
So this kind of proves to you what TikTok is capable of.
Yes.
When they have an agenda that they
Yeah.
want pushed, they can force it on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Because again, it's not necessarily calling for a full ban, is it?
No, it's not. What's actually happening is, and I'm glad I got this because this reader's context thing was actually taken away.
I'm very alarmed at that, by the way.
Yeah.
That context was removed.
Yeah, because
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. See this context over here, reader's context? Last time I checked, it was removed. And hopefully it comes back, but I don't know. But the reader's context is the bill bans apps that are controlled by foreign adversary. Any app, including TikTok, that chooses to sever ties with entities subject to the control of foreign adversary will no longer be impacted by the bill.
So TikTok, if it becomes an American company
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have entities in an adversary country like China, then it doesn't get banned.
No.
Isn't that good?
Yes. By the way, if anyone is on the fence as to whether or not China has any influence over TikTok, there's a very good thread that we've linked down in the comments section
Yes.
by the former FCC director. And it goes through all the incidents where it's been proven that China has access to US user data and all that.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of evidence. It's not hearsay, it's real evidence.
Yeah.
Okay, so China has, if they want to, they can gain access to anyone, their whereabouts and all their stuff if they want to. We know that's how it works. So they can try to pretend like they're separate, but they're not. Right?
Yes.
Anyway, so that pretty much wraps up the whole TikTok ban thing. And I wanted to finish it off with this this little meme over here.
Yeah.
Because something that people tend to forget is that China bans everything, right?
Literally.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like 70 or 80% of the internet you can't
Yep.
access from China.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, on that note, a lot of people have been telling me that because the 2 sessions is happening right now,
Yes.
VPN access has been very spotty and very
Makes sense.
difficult.
Makes sense.
So,
They always do that.
people are always like, oh, I'm in China. Yeah, it's blocked, but I can use a VPN. Well, first of all, it's illegal if you're a Chinese citizen to use a VPN. Foreigners is a bit of a gray area.
Yeah.
But even if you have a VPN, it hasn't been working. Some people have been cut off from the internet for like 12, 24 hours at a time because the VPNs are down.
Yeah.
So it just shows you.
Yep.
You never have true freedom of internet in China ever.
Yes.
Anyway, so this meme, for those of you who can't see, it's I think it's probably from one of those like SpongeBob or something.
That's SpongeBob, yes.
It is, yeah.
I never watched SpongeBob, but at least I know that. That's the
Right.
crab guy.
Okay.
He runs the Krabby Patty, right? Right.
You know more than me about that.
Yeah. I've seen an episode or two.
Right. right. Sorry, excuse me. So the first frame says China bans Facebook, and then China bans Google, and he's all relaxed and everything's fine. And China bans almost everything. He's relaxed and almost fine. And then USA banned TikTok, and it's like, rah, he goes into a rage. I love this because it's just so true, isn't it?
Yes.
Why is there no outrage?
And
that,
again, it's not even banned.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not even going to be a ban. It's hey, you can stay here, but you got to basically not be tied to our biggest adversary.
Yes.
And if you read that thread, which is down in the description, it's a Twitter thread, you'll see they've done all sorts of tests where TikTok will like all the time feed you, and if you search CCP, it only feeds you positive stuff about the Chinese government.
Yes.
Nothing negative.
At least compared to other social
yeah,
media platforms.
absolutely.
For sure.
There's so much proof that it really is just beholden to the CCP, and it's a massive influence operation. So.
Anyway, TikTok, stop misleading people.
Yeah, and stop all that nonsense. I thought I'd throw this in here just for a little bit of a callback. Last week we spoke about the Canadian scientist, virologist, whatever you wanted to call her, the thief who sent samples of deadly viruses from the Canadian lab.
Yeah.
Canada's most important bio lab with all the deadly diseases. She sent them to China. She sent them to the Wuhan lab of virology. And here she is. She's up there, okay, Shangguo. And guess who else is in the picture? Down here. You see? Just down there. It's our good old friend. Peter Balsack, otherwise known as, Peter Daszak. It's all tied together. By now, I think we can probably say with quite a lot of certainty that the idea of this horrible COVID thing that ravaged the world leaking out of a Wuhan lab, specifically a Wuhan Institute of Virology lab, is very possible, if not probable, if not actually just true. So, anyway, just saying. What do we got next?
Don't know. Gotta wait for the slide.
It's coming. You take it away.
We have some new merch, limited time only. Go to everpress.com/profile/The China Show, and we have a new hoodie, which is The China Show classic logo. We have a stylized logo. If you go to the next one, the stylized one that was limited run is now available in long sleeve T-shirt form, because before it was a hoodie.
Okay, so you can still get it, but only in a T-shirt.
Because people were concerned that if they live in a warmer area, they wouldn't be able to wear hoodies all the time, right? So now you can get a long sleeve T-shirt version of it. Also, long sleeve T-shirts seem to be very much in fashion with the whole '90s throwback that I'm seeing everywhere.
Did you ever do that thing where you wear like a short T-shirt over a long T-shirt?
I did not, but I did see. I grew up seeing people like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that did that in my high school, and it always
hated
annoyed
that.
me. It annoyed the shit out of me.
It's wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. It's like back to front. It's
Wrong
like wearing
order.
your underwear on the outside.
Yeah, which one thing I did do when I was a kid.
What is wear your underwear on the outside?
Almost.
Yeah.
The
What?
There's a rap duo, two twins.
Okay.
Or twins. It's a group of twins called Criss Cross.
Okay, I think that rings a bell. Yeah.
Very early 90s. And they would wear all their clothes backwards.
Oh.
And so for a little while, me and my friends, because we were big fans of hip hop back then, we would wear our pants backwards. So the pockets, like the jeans would be in the pockets would be in the front. Those back square pockets.
That must have been so
and
uncomfortable.
And the zipper was in the back.
That must have been so that sounds
It was
so
not
dumb.
ideal, but we felt super cool. Super cool. And then we grew out of it real
Tell
quick.
you a secret, you weren't very cool.
Oh, I'm aware. That's why I'm admitting this shame.
The 90s was pretty bad for fashion. Remember kids used to wear those like 3/4 shorts?
Yeah.
That just shows like a bit of your calf. And then like
Jinko shorts.
Yeah, and like a stupid like T-shirt that's down to your knees, basically.
I remember there's this kid that wore those oversized jeans and oversized shorts. They're Jinko.
Yeah.
But there's also some other brands.
Yeah, we had Boys of London jeans and stuff.
Okay. We had like other crap. Anyway, Lee Pipes was one of them.
Okay.
They're just like giant pipes, basically. And he always had these like outlandish patches glued to the back pockets of them, because the pockets are like this.
They're
you can feel
huge.
like a skateboard.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Or like a SNES.
Yeah, yeah.
And there would be like a run over squirrel with its guts everywhere, or like
Nice.
just like a jester with like holding an 8-ball.
I could respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
sure.
kind of like a surfer vibe. I mean, a skateboarder vibe. Yeah.
It was kind of more scummy than that.
Yeah, I mean, that whole like floppy clothes thing was really annoying.
That was bad.
Isn't
and
it bad?
I was so jealous. I
Yeah.
wanted those oversized jeans. Did I tell you what I did?
What?
My mom wouldn't buy them for me.
Okay.
And she wouldn't let me wear them. She was like, "You'll regret it someday." Just like she wouldn't let me get that mushroom haircut that everyone had.
It's a good thing you didn't, yeah. Like a bowl cut.
Yeah, and it's like shaved here. But it's
Yes.
I literally thought that was the coolest thing in the entire world.
Right.
I wanted that so bad.
Right.
And I also wanted to wear giant wide leg jeans with patches on them.
Yeah.
And so she would always buy me crap clothes, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like pretty poorly dressed. No offense,
Right.
Mom.
Yeah.
But she would take me shopping, and sometimes we go to this place. There's this place called Philadelphia Sales.
Okay.
And it was like all the defect clothing, like
Yeah.
the defective stuff that's like stitched wrong, or
Yeah,
my mom's
yeah.
like, you can hardly tell the difference. You know what I mean? I would get
Yeah.
those clothes.
Oh no. Yeah.
So I could get. She's like, you can get name brands, but you don't have to pay the full price. It's better than going to Walmart.
Sure.
And
Sure
in
it
that
is.
way, I agreed, because at least I had some name brands.
Yeah,
right?
true.
Anyway, I got these normal jeans, and what I would do is I would cut the bottom cuffs. I would cut them up the sides so that they would kind of look like they would overlap my shoes.
Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, that's interesting.
It looked so dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I got a haircut story, but I think I'll save it for another time.
Okay.
Might not be good for sensitive viewers.
Okay, we'll save it for a Xiaolan maybe.
So anyway, guys, if you're interested in buying any of this merch, please head on over to everpress.com/profile/The China Show.
The reason it's profile is because that has all of the current merch for sale, not just one.
Okay. All right, cool. So let's move on. What is this?
This is China intensifies push to delete America from its technology. A directive known as Document 79 ramps up Beijing's effort to replace U.S. tech with homegrown alternatives. So here's what happened.
How's that possible? All Chinese technology is just copied American technology.
You got to understand how this works. So
wait, you
got to understand.
Yes.
Okay.
This was a super top secret document that China didn't want out there. Apparently, it was so secret. I was reading one of these articles. I believe I posted one in the thing. If I didn't, just Google this, like, delete America thing.
Okay.
It was so secret that people would only talk about it in person. It wasn't even, like, shared around.
Yeah.
So somehow it got out, right?
Yeah.
And it turns out the Chinese government has no intention of cooperating with American businesses. And we saw this. Remember, we covered the interview with the ambassador to China, America's ambassador to China, Nick Burns.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And he was talking about how the writing's on the wall if you're an American company, especially an American tech company. China doesn't want you there. They've been raiding offices of Beijing companies, like Beijing-based American companies, right?
Yeah.
It's getting really bad to be an American company. So the writing's on the wall, but now this is kind of confirmed because, like, if you needed proof, this document basically says we're not going to use American technology anymore. We're not going to cooperate anymore. We're going to make homegrown alternatives. And it's very similar to what they did with Facebook, right? With, what's it called? Twitter.
Everything.
Weibo, right?
They just steal the
WeChat.
technology. They take it when it's starting to work, and if people are really interested in it, they say, okay, that's a good test case. This works.
Yes.
They ban it, and then they take the source code, they reverse engineer it, then create their own version.
Yes.
It's kind of frustrating, isn't it?
So here's the deal. This document kind of it's not even, like, super in depth from what I'm reading. It's just, it goes to prove what we've been thinking is happening, and that is to just, if you're trying to invest in China, it's not a good idea.
By the way, I remember they tried to roll out their own operating system. It was like a Linux-based operating system.
Yes.
And they made it mandatory that all government computers are not allowed to have Microsoft Windows anymore. It has to have this.
That's right. I
remember they did that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And guess what? It didn't last long. They rolled back to Windows XP almost immediately because it didn't work out.
It caused sheer disaster in China for holding on to Windows XP that long because the service packs ran out. It was literally just, if you went on a Chinese computer with Windows XP, it was a virus.
It's just a virus.
It was a singular virus made of many viruses.
Can you look up quickly so that we could tell the accurate, how many copies of Windows, I think it was Windows 7 sold in China? How many copies of Windows 7? In China.
Yeah, I did it.
At launch.
At launch, okay.
Yeah. This, I think it was Windows 7. It could have been Vista. I'm pretty sure it's 7. How many?
The demand was high, but they sold illegitimate versions.
Yeah, of course. But like, how many?
I don't think there's any figures, dude.
I remember it was something like 5. I'm not even kidding. It was something
I'll
like.
take your word for it.
Where'd
you get your source though?
No, I mean the source is from.
My source is that I made it the.
I'm being quite serious because I remember when Windows, I think it was Windows 7 came out, right?
Yeah.
And I actually wanted to try and buy it.
It was Vista.
Was it Vista?
Only 244 copies of Windows Vista sold in China.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 244 because
with
everyone.
1 billion people.
Yeah, because everyone pirates everything there.
Yeah.
I remember when Vista came out and I wanted to go and buy it. I couldn't find it anywhere.
What the heck? That's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, and that's because why would anyone buy software if you can copy and pirate it and steal it, right? And that's the way China operates.
What?
244. So you get that, guys. 1.4 billion people. They've all got computers, or all these offices and all these companies. Windows Vista comes out. It's the new Windows, and a total to this day of copies of Windows Vista that were sold in China is 244.
That is outlandish.
It's probably only foreigners anyway.
Yeah, the handful that were there.
Nobody pays for it. Like all the, all of the copies, because I'm a computer guy, of Windows XP and so on that I came across in China were all pirated. Every single one.
You know what the
FCKGW, you know that one, guys?
244, right? Copies were sold. Do you know what they were?
What?
They were all the people whose job in the government was to reverse engineer the software.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, it's just, the numbers don't lie, okay? No. Because everybody got it when it came out, but they just got the pirated versions, right? Anyway, let's.
That's nuts.
Yeah, just I remember it being stupid.
That's a great stat.
Yeah. Okay.
In China, delayed 4 hours after a passenger throws coins into engine. If you're new here, you will say that is ridiculous.
Yes.
Who throws coins into the engine of a plane where it's a jet? It sucks things in and will literally get obliterated.
Yeah,
and
will
everyone
destroy
will
the
die.
jet engine. Yeah.
If it flies.
Yeah.
But
It's
what
the
if I
same
told you-
people that open the emergency doors for fresh air.
Yes. What if I told you this has happened about, I don't know, 7 times?
Yes.
That's documented?
Yeah, 7 documented, and I've heard it more.
This is a new one.
Yeah.
But we found an old clip from Tomo News, which is a Taiwanese news source.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is they use like CG, like funny
so
CG
funny.
skits to like make fun of stuff in China.
Yeah.
It's some of it's over the line, but again, these are Taiwanese people. So.
Taiwanese people making this about their enemy, so that's how it goes.
So we'll show you a little bit.
Before we even get into it, the reason they throw coins in is for good luck during the travel. It's an old superstition.
I forgot to explain.
Yeah,
that.
it's a superstition. Like elderly people.
You know, there is superstition.
What?
Writings on the wall.
Yeah, it is. So these superstitious old people think that if you throw coins into the engine of a plane or a car or whatever, it means your journey will be safe.
Casper says, coins, never crossed my mind.
Yeah, it's exactly. Let's just throw coins into a jet engine. Anyway, let's see this Tomo News segment.
So this is from before. This is not, I'm just showing you. This is when a woman did it. You can play it. Goes on.
Yeah. I mean, this is common enough that it's happened multiple times and it's made the news multiple times.
Yeah, and Tomo's covered it a few times, but I wanted to play one of their segments after this with audio to refresh everyone's memory.
Because I mean, think about it. You have to take pretty much the entire engine apart to make sure there's not a single coin in there.
It's got to be millions of dollars of damage.
Well, yeah, if you start it, it'll just destroy the blades or whatever. It'll get up in there, it'll destroy the whole thing. So you have to get it all out.
Right.
Yeah. It's so dumb. Let's see.
Safe journey to hell.
Yeah. So when's this Tomo News thing going to start? There's a Gizmodo thing. Oh, no, that's also different places.
Yeah, you can scroll through it until it pops up. We don't need to watch this audio-less version.
You just don't like to see random airplanes?
I love
random
airplanes.
You know, Hong Kong, whatever. What is that? Like, oh, we got to look.
Chinese man throws coins at airplane engine for luck. We don't even know what to say at this point. Well, it's happened again, folks. Chinese people plus planes plus good luck coins equals flight delay. Yay! This time around, a 66-year-old Chinese man surnamed Yang decided he'd take it upon himself to bless the flight for everyone on board by throwing coins at the plane's engine. How nice of him. The incident occurred on April 16. According to Tianjin Airlines, the flight was departing from Hohhot to Chifeng, 2 cities in Inner Mongolia, when one of the crew members noticed our hero in the passenger elevator, happily tossing coins at the engines. Popo, however, were not impressed at the man's incredible act of heroism. Even after Yang admitted that he was throwing coins for good luck, they took him away. He was trying to save everyone from impending doom, people. Unfortunately, the only thing Yang was keeping passengers from was their flight. After he was taken away, the flight was delayed for a security check. Yang and all the coins were removed from the plane. Well, there goes their luck. Good guy Yang has accepted to take whatever penalty is imposed by the civil aviation regulations. If you're wondering, didn't we see a similar story before? You're not wrong. This is the 7th time this has happened in China in just 2 years. 7th. And it most certainly won't be the last.
So that means it's actually like 8 or 9 now.
Yeah, I mean, because that particular Tomo News is old. It happens often enough, like I said. It's just a stupid superstition, but, you got to get up, get along with the times. Maybe they should put a QR code on the engine so people can, scan it and give money to the engine.
Could be.
What about that?
That's it's ethereal money.
Yeah.
Or burn paper money before you leave.
Yeah, exactly.
How about that?
Yeah, I like that idea. All right, so what do we got next? What's going on here?
I was just going to read something real quick.
Okay, yeah.
Happy Women's Day from Anthony Saints.
Happy Women's Day to everyone who's a woman.
Kenton Compton.
And everyone who knows a woman.
How about a rare soundbite?
Okay, I'll give you a...
好吃，好吃。
Been a while.
Beckett Great, Michael A. Mayo. I hate the fact that all this spying makes everything worse for the average Chinese person. They truly are more fearful than the CCP of the CCP than the average American.
And loyal, unfortunately, a lot of these the spies. No, I said the spies.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, with a very generous donation, says treating my wife to a barbecue massage or Women's Day. Need a reminder of how it goes. Don't want to get this wrong.
Just like this.
Nice. I'm glad you sorted that out.
Yeah. So what is? You want to read another one, or what's this?
Yeah. Just checking something real quick.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
So
go ahead. I'll do one more. Doc Sauthington says, "Old Doc, back again. Matt, are you doing the Friday fish fry thing for Lent? You better believe it. Have a good weekend, everyone." No, but fish will be on the menu. I have done the fish fry before, though. Megalo Motors, I have no idea what that means. David Lopan, would you consider a special episode focusing on China's involvement exacerbating the situation in Ukraine, considering it's the anniversary? We could definitely consider it. We've definitely covered that in depth, especially on my channel. But that being said, it could be worth an update.
Yeah. Well, next week's definitely going to be 2 sessions.
Org says, nice Casio. Winston watch check. Thank you. This is my new G-Shock limited edition. Actually, it's not limited. It's just new.
Bruh, this is a Citizen flyback chronograph from 1972.
Epic. You were saying nice Casio to me, obviously.
Oh, yeah. It is I'll give you the exact thing over here.
Reference number? I'll give you mine too.
67-9038.
Mine is a GA2100 5611 version, which is the all-white version. It's kind of hard to read, to be honest, but I do like how it looks.
Why not? Right, so let's move on now. We've got China just pulled the country version of a company canceling its quarterly earnings call.
Yeah, this is just a teaser of next week's extravaganza.
Yeah.
So we won't get into too much depth, but this is a big problem, guys. Basically, China during the 2 sessions, these big plenar meetings or whatever, between the CCP and the CPPCC, which is the People's Consultative Conference. Can you play that?
Oh, I certainly can. You mean this?
CPPCC. CPPCC.
So basically, it's this horribly boring meeting where China decides on stuff, right? and it also puts it out there for the world to see.
Yeah.
Here's the issue. They always have a situation where journalists can ask questions and that they kind of give a report on what the projections are and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
This time, they are not going to do the press conference with the foreign minister.
Yeah, because this is normally what gives people an idea on the economy of China.
Yes, and that's like why you invest in stuff.
Yeah, they look at it and they say like, oh, this is what they're planning to do, this is what they've done, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, okay, should I invest, should I not?
Here's my theory, and I think it's a correct theory. So I think it's actually not even a theory.
Okay.
It's gotten so bad, and the economy has gotten so bad, that they've lied so many times that when they do these press conferences, it's not that somebody calls, like, is even able to ask a sensitive question.
Sure.
But when they hide things or lie about figures, then other analysts go and find out the real thing.
Yeah.
Or find another way to figure it out.
Yeah.
So if you don't have one at all, you don't even have a conversation.
You don't need to worry about being disproved, right?
Yes.
That's also why they don't publish the unemployment numbers anymore.
Yes.
Right? Because now you don't have a figure to work off of, right?
This is correct. Anyway, we will be getting into this is my figure pen, of course. This is also my voucher to Stop a Schlong Pig.
Yes.
Anyway,
imagine the amount
that's just a preview of what's coming because it's pretty big, the 2 sessions thing. It'll mostly just be jokes, by the way. We will give you good information about the 2 sessions next week.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, we will.
But it will mostly be
just trying to match myself precisely.
Oh, double vision?
No, I'm a single vision.
Oh, you did it?
Yeah, there's actually myself is behind myself here. I'm beside myself.
I was bigger on Monday.
I am beside myself with joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry guys. We have a Monday show. We'd love you to join us if you have the means. This is what you missed. Flies that end up in these freaking bowels of dumplings. It's gross.
Fly dumplings.
Doesn't he sound like a little boy?
Yeah. Like a 4-year-old. Figured out why she was so popular in China. So actually,
because of the pollution in the video. You see, I never get this far.
But you do in China. It's cheesy. It's lame.
Yes. There we go. This is such a vibe from that time.
That is such a vibe.
Yeah, it is a nice prop. He's got a guitar. He's not using it. And I can't hear a guitar.
There's no guitar in this.
Yep. So, do you want to tell everyone what it was about?
So, do you know what?
What?
We had a Xiaoban Ho on Monday. It was excellent.
Yes.
It was about China's version of country music, which sounds weird.
No, it turned out China's version of low-rent pop music.
Well, that you have to don't spoil it.
I won't spoil it.
Don't give away the spoiler.
Okay, all right, fine.
Anyway, I came to the conclusion. Well, I had a theory that China has its own version of country music. It's very different than American country music, but I had some arguments for that. So we delved into that. We showed you lots of songs. We showed you some hilarious clips just from China.
And our guilty pleasures.
And our guilty pleasure Chinese songs that are pretty cheesy, but we love them.
Yeah.
It was actually a very, very fun episode. I absolutely loved that episode.
I enjoyed it.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just reading Danner253 says that episode was cool. I think absolutely it was one of the more fun, and I think a lot of people learned something about China's music scene.
Yeah.
Because we also covered like what certain demographics listen to, like what they think is cool. It's very cool.
Yeah. So if
Go
you have
check
the
it out.
means, head on over to patreon.com/ADV podcasts. Join us on the Xiaoban Ho tier. We'd love to see you there. It's going to be super fun.
Yes.
And of course, we've got something coming up on Monday too.
Yes.
What was our Monday thing?
We can't spoil that.
Fine. It was voted on.
It's Chinese knockoffs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hilarious Chinese knockoffs, yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that one. That's really, really good. Anyway, let's continue with the show. Or do you want to answer a couple of super chats before we hit our next thing?
Doc Slothington says, oh, by the way, Org says long pig if time. I'm not going to cash this in yet. So
okay, you got a long pig.
Sitting on my Doc Slothington asks, can you imagine what TikTok would be capable of if it wanted to? The ability to push notifications to 170 million Americans is pretty terrifying. I think it should be banned just for that.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Like if it's foreign owned.
Yeah, I mean, literally China said, hey, go bother your congressman and log jam the phones.
Yes.
And
that's really what happened.
And it popped up on everyone's phone.
I'm trying to find a diplomatic way of saying
it popped up on their phone like a notification. Like it's almost like it's a state of the emergency thing.
I think they shouldn't have done that.
No.
I think that's going to count against them.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's really...
I think what Doc just said is actually massively insightful. Yeah. The ability for an adversarial government, can't say enemy yet.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
No,
I mean, they're just stealing all our IP and hacking into our infrastructure.
And harassing people and chasing down dissidents in America.
And setting up illegal police stations.
All that stuff.
Yeah, all that.
It's stealing military technology.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
Anyway, to me, I feel like that's absolutely insane to think that a foreign adversarial, this isn't the UK.
No.
A foreign adversarial government can push a notification to half the country.
With a button to click, then it spams.
And then it calls the government.
Yes.
And then it calls the government.
Exactly.
How nuts is that?
It's insane.
Oh my gosh. Like when you say it out loud.
Yeah. What if the button was to DDoS attack a server or something?
Or
without you knowing it, right?
Yeah.
Could be anything.
But the alibi here is that it's not a Chinese app. It's it's in America now. A data stored in America. The parent company is ByteDance. That doesn't count.
The internet makes that a non-issue because, if you want to, I'll tell you right now, if I've got a server sitting in Malaysia or something, I can access it right now from where I am.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter where that server is. I can move it around.
Yeah.
Heck, I'll stick it in the middle on the top of Kilimanjaro with a freaking solar pack and
I dare you.
And an antenna, like a satellite connection. I can contact it. So it doesn't matter where the freaking data is. I can still gain access to it.
Ultimate dare.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like going back to Mount Kilimanjaro anyway.
Okay, fair enough. Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's move. So, what, are we on a schedule
I'm sorry,
here?
I was going to say, we're on a schedule here, guys. Chainsaw Octopus, you all right? Joking.
Yeah, sorry.
The U.S. actually has 2 sessions, and yes, we have American manners.
Yeah.
We don't... Oh, yeah, we actually have 2 sessions.
Yes, you had two parties.
Yes, in multiple branches of government.
So you're the North Korea dude.
Just a sec. Love the new merch from Gert E.
Thank you.
Pleb says, hi there. I am a PSYOP. Either way, either that or cute milk was salty that silkworm moss were proven via democracy to be better than monarch butter.
They are. Yeah.
Pleb is a psyop. Pleb, can you change your name to psyop? I just want to acknowledge that every time he brings something up, we go way off.
Yeah, it's like a psyop, isn't it?
David, can I get a shout out from you guys? This is from Pleb, from psyop. Can I get a shout out from you guys to my girlfriend, Jüri? I asked her to marry me and she said yes, but only if I take the pills. Judy's not your girlfriend,
bro. Exactly.
Jeff, take the pills, Jeff.
Yeah, you don't want that. Due to the nature of my work, I never get to, this is from psyop, to Xiaoban Ho Live. Still enjoy it, but I regret not getting to push C-Milk further into madness 2 times per week.
Nice.
You do actually drive me insane.
It's awesome. Keep it up.
I both like and hate your presence. Janky Robin says, enjoy dinner. Have you heard of the Hell Divers or tried playing obsessively lately? Have not.
I've heard a lot of people.
Hell Divers.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people
Is that in your
playing
game?
it. Yeah, it's a new game, but it's like some kind of online
Oh, I
thing.
thought it was in your flight game.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Gotcha. Track media only. It's reported that some younger people called and threatened to self-delete. It shows how much control they have. It's self-delete.
Self-delete TikTok? Really?
That's good.
Yeah, I hope they do.
Honestly, I won't spam you with a notification. I'm gonna say it, and I'm sorry if this crosses some lines of opinion. Call Congress and tell them to continue with the bill. Yeah. I support it, and I'm not going to hide that.
No, I support it too. TikTok is it's dangerous,
absolutely dangerous. And again, I'm not even calling for a full ban. I hate TikTok. Period. I don't want it anywhere near my country. Period.
Sure.
I think it poisons citizens. It reduces attention span. I've covered it in depth on my channel.
Yeah.
I have it's actually the kind of the new way my channel's going is to talk about this kind of
It
stuff.
increases bathroom break times.
Yes. But I think it's way more sinister than we let on.
Oh, absolutely.
At the same time, I would never take that away from someone.
Yeah,
I think
if they want to rot their brain,
media
it's up to them.
Is terrible, but I would never take that away from someone.
Sure.
But I absolutely, wholeheartedly, and I think we both agree, we weren't sure if we should say it completely overtly because everyone has their own choice.
Sure.
But any bill that, especially a bipartisan bill, that stops a foreign adversarial country from being able to control the narrative of an entire country.
Yeah.
And especially when more and more people are getting their news on TikTok.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. That should have been stopped ages ago.
The fact is, the algorithm works to feed you negative things about about your own country.
Yes.
Which wouldn't be allowed in China. There is no negative stuff concerning China on Douyin, which is the Chinese TikTok. But this is what they want. They want people to consume negative media about their own country and only positive stuff about China. And it's proven. So, again, go check that thread down in the link below. Anyway, back to your favorite country in the world, North Korea.
Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah, you're more interested in it than most, I think.
No, I think I have a healthy interest. I
Okay.
think there's a lot of parallels. I think I'm particularly interested to see how China has emulated, weirdly enough, a lot of the controls that North Korea has, because when we were in China, North Korea was the punching bag of China. It was literally a joke. People make, like, you could have a conversation with a taxi driver and they would always make fun of North Korea. There would be some self-acknowledgement that China is repressed. Like, especially with taxi drivers, they would talk sometimes, or especially people in the countryside. They would say, hey, we're not free like America. Most Chinese people used to think that, by the way.
Yeah.
We're not free like America, but at least we're not like North Korea. That place is hell, right?
Yeah.
That was the joke.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's really emulated North Korea's governance. I'm not joking, with the cult of personality and just using high-tech innovations, lots of money, and a much more robust surveillance state.
Yes.
But it's the same idea at this point. Anyway, funnily enough, during COVID, North Korea was absolutely terrified to get COVID from China.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a medical system really at all.
Yeah,
and despite what
exactly.
techies would tell you, they really just don't have.
It's not the workers' paradise, that's for sure.
It's the workers' hell, right?
Yeah.
So if it broke out there in any magnitude, millions of people would vanish.
People that caught it were executed.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
They were like, well, we'll get rid of them.
Yes.
Anyway, before getting too dark, they used that time to seal up their border with China. And you know what's funny is that what's happened is that we've seen a full sealing of a border. It was very porous before.
Yeah.
North Koreans by the thousands would cross into China. By the way, if they get caught, they get executed. but they would do it because it's so desperate.
Yeah.
And either try to escape through China. If they get caught in China, China deports them back to North Korea where they're executed.
Sure.
Or puts them into slave labor.
Mm-hmm.
China forces many North Koreans into slave labor and slave wifehood.
Oh, yeah. We met North Koreans in China.
Yes.
Along the border.
But it used to be porous and people would take that risk. Now it's sealed, and they've used that whole COVID thing to kind of amp that up. And
Sure.
what's happened is people have noticed that the starvation and the real distress of North Koreans has amplified beyond belief because their only economy was coming from the black market from China.
Yeah.
This is pretty wild.
Yeah, it is.
So there's a map here that shows how big this border actually is with China. In fact, we rode along much of it.
Yes. The Yalu River.
We looked right into North Korea. We basically stepped into North Korea in a way. We didn't actually, but like the way that it was, because we're on the river, right? We're on the China side of the river. I mean, that's the same river that North Korea has.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah, we
So
looked right
we were
into
there.
North Korea.
We saw people. We saw schools. We saw
Yeah.
houses. We saw people going about their daily life.
If you want to call it a school,
and
it's
that
a
was
piece
the
of junk.
That was the richest area of North Korea because
Yeah.
of the black economy with China.
Yeah.
So you remember how sad it was? Like these
it's
people
terrible.
were so skinny.
Yeah, we've got footage.
Yeah.
We filmed.
Yeah. Yeah. I did a whole video actually called The North Korea in China, which is all about that border area.
Yeah.
Go check it out. But anyway, just wanted to keep you up to date that has been sealed off. And it's interesting because China has been always playing by international rules by saying we're not going to economically cooperate with North Korea. And we watched them. During the day, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But then at night, they have all these logging trucks and all these coal trucks, and they just go and they break all the international rules in front of everyone.
Yeah, and they have North Koreans working freely.
Yeah.
Obviously
They're not
under.
supposed to.
Yeah, they're not supposed to. They're obviously under. Very careful watch, but they
Sure.
work in China against international sanctions, which China promises to abide by.
Yes.
But again, when the Chinese government says something, it's a lie.
So here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
This has devastated North Korea,
Mm-hmm.
but China still wants to keep North Korea kind of placated. So I reckon this economy will be between governments and not people anymore, which is the black market was the only thing keeping people alive.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to the Philippines now. And let's take a look. The Chinese Coast Guard has been harassing the crap out of Philippine fishing vessels and also resupply vessels. Because the Philippines has this rather interesting military outpost.
Yes.
Which is actually just like an old shipwreck.
Yeah.
That's like beached on some rocks or whatever.
That's true.
And so they try to send supplies because they've got people stationed on this old wrecked ship, basically. Yeah. And the Chinese Coast Guard just hammers them with water cannons. Look how bad that is, by the way. Smashed the glass, injured the sailors inside. The Chinese Coast Guard is shameless, right?
Yes.
Is this a little thing you want to play here?
It's just from Philippine news. You can play it. It's very quick.
Okay.
International condemnation, China still sees nothing wrong with its behavior at sea. Beijing insists its Coast Guard acted with restraint in a recent clash with Philippine vessels. The Philippines earlier summoned China's deputy chief of mission in protest of the incident.
The Chinese Coast Guard responded to the Philippines' infringement and provocation at the Renai Shoal in accordance with the law. In this incident, who is initiating the provocation? Who violated international law and endangered peace and stability in the South China Sea? The truth is clear.
Yeah, China. That's who did it.
I can't believe how they're clearly attacking the ship and they showed restraint.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything.
No, we showed restraint. Nonsense.
We just blew your windows out and rammed you.
I like how they try to pull on international law, but they're against international law. It was signed by, the whatever international body for...
and the Philippines and the U.S.
Yeah. It's like that is not China's territory.
So stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, they're very bad with this nonsense.
If you look at a map, you'd absolutely laugh, by the way, at how much, we've showed this before, but how much China claims.
Yeah.
It's insane. Anyway.
Wow. Okay, so I guess we have time to answer a few more super chats. We're not going to have a full Q&A, guys. That's pretty much the end of the show. Like I said, we both have to go take our wives out for a Women's Day dinner. Woo! Going to be awesome. Booked a really nice place. So we have to get an early start. So that's why
Oh, yes, and I am getting changed, guys.
Yeah.
People are like, you're wearing that? I was like, no. This is my show clothes.
Yeah, show clothes. Yeah. Anyway, so let's hit a couple of those questions, shall we?
Yes.
And then we'll sign off.
Pleb says, speaking of bark eating, because the North Koreans.
Yes. Yeah.
The part of the trees that starving people actually eat is the phloem. Phylum. I think it's called the phylum.
Okay.
The thin layer just beneath the bark. It has been made into starvation breads many times in history. Yes, that is absolutely correct. It's not actually the bark.
I think you get to a point where you will eat the bark.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, but you start with the phylum.
Yeah, you start with the good stuff and then move on to like the dregs.
Because that's where all the sugars are transported, by the way.
Yeah, and the phylum.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Chainsaw octopus. Some North Korean border guards actually have worms, like how dogs get worms. It's disturbing and extremely sad. Not just the guards. It's
everyone.
It's everyone.
And China too. It's actually quite common. It's from pork.
Yeah.
You get these parasites.
It's way more common in North Korea.
Of course, yeah.
Because they don't have much treatment.
Yeah.
Have fun at Cheesecake Factory. We're not going to Cheesecake Factory.
I like Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, I kind of miss it. It's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, I once went there, and I don't know how they messed up the order when my parents visited a couple of years ago. I ordered a salad, and it was massive. I think they made a mistake because my mom ordered a salad, and it was actually just like they took their entire ingredients and threw it on one plate. It was huge. It was piled up like crazy. I don't know how they did that, but whatever.
That's fine. That's fine. You get your bang for your buck.
It was insane.
2 sessions next week. Can I get a manners lesson? Yes, Potato Radio.
Here we go. And you're going to see the full thing with commentary next week, along with a whole bunch of new stupid 2 sessions propaganda.
Yes. David Lopan says, treat your ladies to a good time, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you on Monday. We really appreciate it if you would join us there.
So if you can, join us for Shaban Ho. We'd love that. And if not, just join the Patreon. If you join it at any tier, you get access to our Discord and a bunch of other fun stuff. And you get to see the full episodes with all the Q&As that we normally cut out. So
that's right.
Can't wait to see you guys on Monday.
Yes.
And next week, if we have other videos, we'll let you know. And we'll see you for the big 2 sessions special bonanza, which I think is going to be super fun.
Yes.
So,
by the way.
Yeah. What's that?
The merch link is not broken now.
Oh, it was broken?
It was.
Well, thanks for fixing that.
Yes.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us for this very important conversation. Apologies once again that it's a bit early today and a little shorter than usual, but we'll be back to normal next week. So have a fantastic weekend. Can't wait to see you next week.
Yes.
Stay awesome. And I'm not going to cut myself off. Let's do this.